Good day. So today we're on a Peogeot 107. We got an exhaust gasket leak from the front. It's just below the cat, the joint where the downpipe joins the bottom of the cat. It's leaking from. So yeah, that's what it's failed its MOT on. So, well, and other stuff it's failed on. Power steering, headlights, all discoloured, stuff like that. So just work through it slowly, get it done. So yeah, switch around and show you what to do. So the headlights I've already done. All I got is some G3, some odd cutting paste, and just polished them up. Then just got some fine paste, teacup and teacup. So yeah, they look a hell of a lot better. They do what it was. It was proper misted over all the grime and all that. All I got was a buffing wheel. Like I say, it's just an harsh cutting paste. And I just wiped it on, got the buffer on it and buffed them up. If you ain't got a buffer, you can do it by hand. It just takes a lot longer, obviously, and a lot more hand work to do it. But yeah, I got them up nice and shiny. It took me about 45 minutes. That's the headlights done. So the next thing is the exhaust. I did think it was blowing from the manifold. It might still be yet, but I know I've had it. Well, I had it up on the ramps, had a look, and it is blowing from where the downpipe joins the bottom of the cap. It's blowing from there as well. So I've gone out and brought a new gasket for it. So I'm going to take that off, put a new one on, then we'll see if we're blowing from the manifold as well. So you want to get underneath the car. I've got it up on ramps, and you want to be undoing these bolts here. I know I've got leakage here, somewhere around here. I don't know if I've got a crack or what. So all I've done is gone and brought a new gasket ready. I'm going to take it off, have a look, and make sure I've got no cracks or out. But it is blowing really bad from the front, and that's what's kicking me second sensor, my O2 sensor, to fail on the MOT because I got a massive leakage at the front. So yeah, we're gonna take this off, replace the gasket, make sure we've got no cracks, then make sure the manifold ain't got any leaks. But we'll soon see. So yeah, let's get this off. So there we go. It's 14mm bolts. These are them here. They do have nuts on the other side. If you're lucky, they're rusted on the other side, so they'll stay there. I have brought a kit with nuts and bolts and the new coil springs and that. So I brought the old new lot to fit. I think it cost me about 19 quid off eBay. So yeah, that's that loose. So what I'll do now is drop it off this rubber here. So this will drop down so I can get in and have a look. So I've undone that back rubber. The exhaust is now lowered. For some reason it don't look like there is a gasket in there. Okay. So I wonder why there's no gasket in there. It's a bit strange, that is. So what I'm going to do is give this a good clean up, and we'll get the gasket and have a look. But I'm starting to wonder now, this is why it's leaking really bad, because there's no gasket in it. So whoever's fitted it before has not put one in. Okay, some dodgy people around. Let's give it a good clean up. So this is what I got in my kit. This is the gasket. Forgot what was meant to be in there, but there's not one in there. That's the gasket. I've got 2 new springs and 2 new nuts and bolts. Like I say, it cost about 19 quid off eBay, so not too pricey, I guess. So yeah, so I'll give that a bit more of a clean up, and the top up here, then we'll fit them. Oh yeah, don't forget to unplug your sensor. Plug there. There is a little black clip on the top here, just push that in and it'll pop out. Unhook it from here and the exhaust does drop down. So yeah, let's get this a good clean up. Right, gasket. You'll see it like taper down to one side. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It all curves down around. You got a big flat bit at the one side. The big flat bit goes upwards, and where it smooths down goes in there. As you can see, it curls in. It's like a little bowl, and that just sits in there like that. Like that. Then that pipe goes in there and it all tightens up and all clamps up and stops it from leaking. But for some reason there weren't one in, so no wonder why we had a big leak. So like I say, that big flat bit there goes round there like that. That's how it sits, like that. But the easiest way of doing it is put it in here first. Get it in there so it sits nicely in there. Then offer this up to there, put your bolts in, tighten it up. Well, bing bang, we're sorted. So yeah, here's a bit of a fiddly bit to try and keep that level in there while you're trying to get the other end in it and put a nut and bolt in to hold it. But it's possible, so yeah, let's get it done. So yeah, these are your bolt and your springs. What you want to do, put your springs in like that, tighten it up. Because my nuts on top are rusted onto the cat itself, I ain't going to mess around with them, and I leave them on. There's the new ones there. So yeah, it looks like someone might have spot welded them on to keep them on, because they were a bit of a pain to get a spanner up to hold them and that. So yeah, I'm going to leave them on, just replace the bolts and springs, put a gasket in, a new gasket. Like I say, the flat side there goes to the top, and where it curls in like a bowl goes to the bottom. So I'm going to lift this up, tighten these up. So once you get it all tightened up, put back in your O2 sensor, see the wire goes over that, put back in your rubber. That rubber there, if you're struggling to get it off, get a screwdriver, flat screwdriver in behind it and just pop it off. It just pops back on. But yeah, kick it up, make sure you've got no leaks. Don't do this if the engine is up and watch your fingers and that with that. But yeah, I think that's got it. Don't feel no more air blowing. So that's what the problem was. There weren't even a gasket in it. There's some dodgy people around. Yes, I think that's got it. So that's another job down for its MOT. Making sure I've got no leaks from the manifold. Don't feel like it now. I think that's what the main problem was, because there was no gasket in there. So yeah, sounds a hell of a lot quieter, a hell of a lot better. Well, it would. Now it's got a gasket in it. So yeah, so there we go. That's how you do the front gasket on the exhaust on a 107, or the downpipe gasket just after your cap. So the next thing I think on the list is power steering. Don't know if I'm going to mess around with it. I'm going to check all the fuses and that, make sure they're good. It just keeps coming off and on when it wants the PS light. When you turn the ignition on, the PS light will come on, telling me I've got a fault with the power steering. But when I took it for an MOT, it failed. So I'm going to have a look, see if I can see what the problem is. On the forums and that, when you read up about it, it's saying it's the ECU, power steering ECU, what's the problem. So you can send them off to be redone, and I think they're about 200 quid to send them off to get them redone. I'll have to have a look into it, but I ain't going to pay 200 quid to have it done. So yeah, like I say, the power steering, that's going to be the next big problem. Like I said, nice gentleman, I got it off. Told in the price it's going to be if it was the ECU, the power steering rack. That's the main problem with it, is well, that problem. Headlights weren't a problem, the exhausts weren't a problem. It's the power steering. And as he was only going to keep it a couple of months, he just said scrap it, it's not worth him spending that kind of money on it just for a couple of months. So yeah, I brought it off him. I was going to break it, strip it, sell the parts off it, and or just sell the old car as one, just for parts. But then I thought about it, you know what, I'd try and do some work on it. I'm going to throw some money at it, as I got it cheap enough. So time I do the work, it'll probably stand me in what the car's worth. So not sure yet. Like I said, I polished headlights, the exhaust is now done. Now there's a new gasket in. It's this power steering, that's the problem I'm going to have. I need to find the fault on it. Like I say, a lot of people saying it's the ECU, power steering ECU is the problem. To have it sent off, you're looking about 150 to 200 quid to have it done. But I have been told there is relays on the board, and they're the ones what go and just need replacing. So I'm going to have a look at trying to get some of them, solder them in myself, or get someone to solder them in. Go from there. Not sure yet. I might just even sell the car on. Most of the work's done, it's just the power steering. I can turn around and say, look, most of the work's done for this MOT, it's just the power steering and what needs doing. A cheap little car for someone to do. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today. Catch you next time. Stay safe.